Hi. It seems the world is confused as to whose side to take in the new war in Israel. So, I want to say that I want to remind you that you tell tree by its fruits. Therefore, I want to read you a testimony or a reminder of the fruits we're dealing with here. Some guy on VK wrote about the initial attack from Hamas. Quote, above all, the Palestinian hero troops raided a music festival and tortured, raped, and murdered women there. 260 dead in this place alone. Civilians were murdered in their homes, and prisoners were publicly lynched, as in killed with stones. Such crimes are not aimed at getting a broad mass of supporters behind them. Even in Judea and Samaria, the Intifada does not start except for a few isolated murders, but they are practically there every day. This was a reaction to a new article by Alexander Dugin, who was evoking eschatology in the sense that the Palestinians, the Hamas terrorists, because that's what they are, named their operation, quote, Storm of Al-Aqsa. What is Al-Aqsa? Al-Aqsa is the name of the mosque that would be, in theory, need to be bulldozed for the Jews to rebuild their third temple and resume the daily sacrifice, which is in eschatology is step necessary to bring forward the Antichrist. Doesn't matter if you believe this or not. The point is that the Hamas terrorists they are Sunni. They try to trigger the Shia, which means Hezbollah in the region, to join them. Now, Hezbollah fired a few rockets just for show, but so far they did not join Hamas war on Israel. And I don't think they will, because Hezbollah, what is Hezbollah? Hezbollah is a Shia militia in Lebanon, who is attuned with the Iranian Hezbollah. So Hezbollah in Lebanon, what is it? It's a state within the state. I was photographer in Hezbollah in Lebanon in 2013 and 14. And I quickly understood that in Lebanon you don't do anything without consent from Hezbollah. So at the time I was quite an engaged Belgian photographer, so nobody told me it was from Hezbollah, but I quickly understood that you don't do anything without somebody from Hezbollah having your plans and getting consent for it. So I was all cleared, and by the time I was a photographer in Lebanon, because some guy told this guy is Belgian, he's from Belgium, it's okay. And yeah, because Belgium at the time was helping Lebanon to fund their humanitarian camps for refugees from Syria. Anyway, long story short, Hezbollah is a state within the state in Lebanon, but Hezbollah is also friends with the state of Lebanon. Therefore, if the state of Lebanon says, look guys, don't start a war with Israel, we can't afford this, we can't do this, I don't want Israel to attack us. Okay, Hezbollah will not do it. So, Hezbollah, what's the difference between Hamas and Hezbollah? Okay, Hamas is Sunni Hezbollah is Shia. That's one thing. Hamas is a terrorist group because, long story short, Hamas is the terrorist group that hosts the Gaza Strip hostage. Because when they took over in 2008, around this time, what did they do? They took their cousins from Fatah, which is the other main Palestinian groups, which is leading the West Bank, living in peace with Israel. They put them against the wall and killed them, mowed them down with machine guns. That's what we're dealing with here. So Hamas is almost as bad as ISIS, Miguel. Islamic State terrorists. In Hamas schools, they teach kids 5-6 years old. All they have to do in their life is to kill Jews and murder Jews. So, what's the difference between Hamas and ISIS? I mean, they don't wear turbans, and I don't really see any other difference. I mean, I get that if you're put in a strip and build a cage around you, can put some pressure on you, but to go on and murder civilians, it's a different, it does not excuse what would you call war crimes. So if you have any common sense, you will have to take the side of Israel here. To kill unarmed prisoners wearing uniform, to kill scores of civilians in their houses. I mean, only a monster would do that. So what's the difference between Hamas and Hezbollah? Hezbollah are real people, genuine people. They did fight against ISIS in Syria and help whoever in the Syrian civil war or the war with invading terrorists. I mean, long story short, in Syrian war, Hezbollah helped Syrian army against ISIS, especially in the region around Lebanon, so the ISIS wouldn't cross into Lebanon. I was as a photographer in Lebanon in January 2014, and I personally photographed ISIS flags 6 months before it became a trend, before it became a movement. So Hezbollah in Lebanon are people attuned with Iranian Hezbollah, Shia Muslims, whereas Hamas in the Gaza Strip are extremist Sunni Muslims, or Islamists in short. So they found some way to trump Israeli surveillance, mainly by using non-electronic means of communication, such as writing things on paper, and therefore the Israeli services did not catch up on their plan before it came to strike. So there was a blunder on their part, but what they did, the fruits they bear, are the fruits of terrorism. So I said it before, I say it again, Hamas is a terrorist group that took the Gaza Strip hostage, and because of their actions, now Israel retaliated with heavy firepower and napalmed entire neighborhoods in Gaza. That's Hamas' fault, that's Hamas doing, because they know that if you strike Israel, you will get revenge on your head. So I don't understand the trend that with support of maps from 1948, 1970s, you post Israel as the aggressor here, because it's not. The aggressor is Hamas. Hamas is a terrorist group. They're 80% as bad as ISIS, given the means. And I've seen a few videos, propaganda from Hamas making fun of the victims they murdered in cold blood. I mean, they took the phones from the victims and published their clips, and then published photos of their corpses, and illustrating this with amusing Islamic music. I mean, that's plain disgusting. If you are a responsible person, you will not take the side of the Palestinians in this war. That's just disgusting.